Hi there, I'm Lindsay Vallandingham with the Symphony Group at Keller Williams Collective. We're a residential real estate company that serves both Kentucky and Indiana. Today, we are going to present one of the things that we hear about all the time in this industry, the idea of what goes into building my dream house on a parcel of land. Jeremiah Dowell from the Symphony Group is joining us. We know a lot of you want to know what goes into purchasing a parcel of land and building my dream house. So Jeremiah is coming in to act as our buyer today, and we're just going to set this up like how these conversations typically go.
So Lindsay, I really like to buy a nice piece of land, just something I can put a barn dominium on, make just half an acre, maybe even an acre or two, maybe up to 5 acres.
It's kind of what everybody wants, right?
Yeah.
It's to build the dream.
Right.
So my first question to you is, do you know where in the area that you would want to be located?
I mean, somewhere close to Louisville, so I don't have to drive real far.
Okay. There isn't a lot of what it sounds like you're talking about, like, an acre, 2, 5, something like that. We don't have a lot of sort of vacant land left in Jefferson County that would be available for something like that. Believe it or not, in Jefferson County, builders tend to find and buy up these available parcels, and then you got to work with that builder in order to build on that lot.
I mean, we're fine like going out a little further. I just don't want to be an hour away.
Sure. Well, there could be opportunity for you, like Oldham County, Spencer County, Shelby County, Bullitt County, the surrounding counties, or even into Indiana. When you talk about wanting to have an acre plus of land, do you have an idea of what size house you're thinking about building?
We got a bunch of kids, so I'm thinking like 2,500 square feet.
Okay.
We'd like to have a basement, but the barn dominium, you don't need it. But
Sure.
You don't even know where they're. It's very private, surrounded by trees. Just something simple.
Have you already identified a builder that you'd want to work with?
Not yet. I thought I'd get with you.
And I can help you find somebody. How do you intend to pay for this? Do you have cash to be able to pay for this? Would you take a mortgage? Okay.
We have some, but we have to get a loan like everybody else. Yeah.
Okay. So the process of doing exactly what you're talking about, of finding a parcel of land and building your dream home, is a little more complicated financially when it comes to borrowing money than, say, just buying the house, that's already built down the street.
Okay.
Because you can't get like a traditional mortgage on vacant land. A mortgage has to have something that the bank can take over if you don't pay. They have to have something to hold on to. There are a few different financial options, and the very first thing that we will want to do is to get you working with financing to really see what your options are.
Okay.
It's just a little bit more complicated. There are all kinds of different ways to go about it. One of them, I just mentioned to you, you can work with a builder who already owns a parcel of land. And that happens all the time. The builder goes out, they buy good parcels, and they are willing to work with them. But you can't bid out different builders. You would have to work with the builder that owns that land, obviously.
Okay.
The second option would be to go ahead and purchase a piece of land. Depending on your cash situation, you might be able to just outright purchase something. Have you looked into prices of like an acre or two of land?
We're thinking about a budget of about $350.
All in?
All in.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to be determined by the price per square foot of the house, whether or not you have a basement. When we're looking at land, in order to keep the cost lower, we need to look at land that is positioned in such a way that there is already water nearby. Maybe it's on a road where there are other homes that already have water. We would want to look for some place that has electric nearby for the same reason. The further that you have to take the electric, the further that you have to take the water to the site, the more expensive that becomes for you. You as the homeowner are responsible for paying to service that new home with its electric and water.
So let me ask you, my uncle has a piece of land that he's talked about selling to me for cheap. It's like a couple acres. He's getting to like $25,000. But it's way out on the other side of the mountain. It has trees all over it.
Yeah.
Would that be about the same? Or?
My first recommendation would be, let's have a contractor or builder come out and look at the land, because we would need to get a quote on what it costs to clear the land. If you have a full acre, they may not have to clear the entire parcel, but on a smaller lot, a quarter acre, they're probably going to have to clear in order to be able to access the home and dig out the foundation. They're going to need areas to be able to get trucks in and around there. For example, on your uncle's piece of land, Is there egress from a major road? Do you have a roadway nearby?
What do you mean egress?
Like the ability to build a driveway off of a main road. How far is it from a road that you would enter from?
Yeah, I mean, you have to go back on his driveway a little bit to pull off of there, so it's not off the main road.
So you'd have to have an easement
Right.
to come off of their driveway, which would basically make you a shared owner of their driveway up to the point where you break
So
off.
easement meaning...
Meaning that space of land, he still owns it, but he has to provide access to you.
Okay.
If you have to move through his property in order to reach your property, you would have to have constant permission. And in the case that he would ever decide to sell, you would have to make sure that that easement transferred to the new owner as well. Because if you cannot reach your property without moving through his property, you are what's called the dominant estate, but he has to continue to provide you an easement.
I mean, I guess our biggest thing is getting into the land. Everybody wants to know is, how much is it going to cost me? So you talk about running utility lines and driveways and easements. I mean, what kind of cost am I looking at before I even start building a house?
Typically, when we talk about new construction, we talk about a price per square foot of the house. In addition to the land is going to cost what the land is going to cost. And then if everything is readily accessible, meaning we're able to branch off of a water line, we're able to branch off of an electrical service, then you could probably start to build something for about $200 per square foot. So for example, with your wish list of a 2,500 square foot house, we're talking about probably $500,000 to build that house, plus the cost of the land.
Ugh,
So
that's a lot more than I thought.
it's a lot of money. It's a high price tag, and that can go up if we have to build an extra long driveway. We have to, run electric or water further than, maybe just from the average roadway distance. You also have to think about things like when you purchase a piece of property that is remote, it's likely not going to be on a county or city sewer system. So you're going to have to
Have a septic.
You're going to have a septic tank, exactly. And in order to have a septic tank, the county health department of the county that the land is located in is going to have to come out. They're going to do what's called a perk test to make sure that the soil stability is there to have a septic system. So the county health department is who's going to decide that. That's one of the first things that we would do, because there's no point in proceeding with a piece of land that you can't actually put a house on.
Well, how much is it to put a septic in?
It varies. It depends on how many bedrooms you're going to have, how far, and what type of septic system you're going to buy. I would include that in that sort of idea of $200 per square foot. I would say that you would be able to get a septic system. But again, that's something that we would want to check out first and foremost, because if it's going to require an extra expensive septic system, that's probably going to make that lot a no-go for you.
So I can get that done before I buy the land?
Absolutely. So just like we would have contingencies related with any home purchase, you'd have a contingency for a home inspection or contingency for financing, there would be contingencies around your purchase as well. And one of those contingencies is going to be a perk test. We would want to make sure before you closed on the land that it would perk so that you could have that septic system.
Well, I mean, it's all good information, but it really sounds like it's way beyond our budget. So is there any alternatives to building our own place that's not going to break our bank?
Absolutely. First would be the idea of modular housing. I don't know if you've ever looked into modular housing. You might drive down the road and see lots. There are home sellers that sell modular homes. You can go tour them. They are beautiful. Sometimes they're very large, and they can be an option. There's a lot of restrictions around where they can go, and they're sometimes not less expensive, to be honest with you, because you still have to set up the electric, set up the water, build the driveway, install the septic, pay for them to deliver and set up the home. So there's a lot that goes into that, but it is an option, and oftentimes it comes with a pretty easy financing package from that modular home builder. So the other option, and this is an option that a lot of folks choose to go with for brand new homes, is to work with a production builder. There are production builders all over our area building homes of every different price point. The builder, the company, goes in, they buy the entire subdivision. And that's where the word subdivision comes from. They take a lot and they subdivide it into individual parcels of land.
Okay.
They put a house on each parcel. You're very familiar with this idea because it's regular. We see it in our lives all the time.
So they already own the land.
They already own the land, and they build the home before you are ever financed.
So I don't have to build take care of the utilities or
Exactly.
stuff like that.
They are going to put all of that into their subdivision before they even get started.
Okay.
They are going to take care of all of the permitting that goes with the house. They're going to fully build the house and have it finished before you take out a mortgage.
Is it cheaper to buy a production home than building on my own?
Typically, it's going to be less expensive, yeah, because the builder is able to acquire materials at a bulk rate because they're planning to build 200, 300, 500 homes. So they're able to acquire lumber, siding, doors, cabinetry, all of the things that go into building a home. They're getting a better deal than you would be able to get on your one-off property.
I would just go to my bank and say, hey, look, I'm going to buy with this company, and they could finance it.
Yep, absolutely. You can go that route, or many builders offer their own financing. That's an option too. And frankly, especially in 2026, in 2025, 2026, I've seen builders incentivizing buyers to the table through lower interest rates, through some buyback of their closing costs and things like that. So there's a lot of incentive around building new construction with a production builder right now because they are able, just like they're able to partner with a lumber provider for a discounted rate, they're also able to partner with a mortgage provider and get lower costs for everybody that they can get to the table.
If they're going to offer me incentives and lower rates, I can't understand why anybody would buy a used home. Why wouldn't they all just buy new homes?
The thing is, at the end of the day, new construction tends to sit a little bit higher in the market than buying a pre-owned home. It just, in general, the price per square foot of house that you can buy for your money is going to be a little higher in a brand new home. The flip side of that is you're going to get to customize some things. You're going to get a really strong warranty that comes with new construction, and you're going to be able to move into something that no one's ever lived in before. And for a lot of people, that's a very important piece of the puzzle. However, it comes at a cost. It is most times price per square foot a little higher. You also have a lot less option of location just because they're not everywhere. Builders are building in communities further and further and further from downtown Louisville because land becomes less and less and less available to them. So you're still going to be forced into certain locales where these new construction neighborhoods are happening. That said, they're buying land all the time. There's new ones opening up all the time.
But I mean, I guess the idea is if I can not have to pay on it till they finish building the home, that's good, right?
Absolutely.
The cost is cheaper getting into it.
Exactly.
Right?
You're going to have a very traditional mortgage like you would anywhere else. And the other thing is with production builders, because they have a system, they have a team working for them, they can typically finish homes faster than the custom builder can too, because they have to source everybody that comes in and works on that house. Looking at new construction is that there is going to be more upfront cost for you with new construction versus buying a pre-owned home, because many builders are going to require a larger down payment. They're going to build this house to your demands, to your specifications, and so they want you to have a little bit more skin in the game. So you might have to put $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 down on that house up front. And sometimes that money's not refundable because, again, that builder has built a home to your specifications that if you don't perform on your loan for any reason, they are going to they're going to have to go and sell it, and they might have to sell it at a loss. So they're going to request a higher down payment from you upfront before closing. Also, the cost of building a new home does not come with a lot of the things that pre-owned homes come with. For example, sometimes the appliances are not all included. Sometimes there are not blinds and window coverings included, then you might be able to get things like that in a pre-owned home. So there's a lot of upfront expense, even if you get to the closing table at that closing time. So you just need to be prepared to save a little bit of money back to help cover some of those things that you're going to have to pay for.
Thank you. Very informative. Don't put that part in there.
I hope this was helpful for you. For all of your new construction questions, Jeremiah and I are here to answer you all the time. We have been through this process. Jeremiah's been through this process personally in his own home. So we are here to help you answer these questions. And if new construction is what sounds best to you, we will work hard to make sure that you get the best possible deal and the best house for your family. For personal questions, please reach out to us at symphonyrealtygroup@gmail.com.